Okay. The seed is one of the important part of the flowering plant, and we know that all the plant they are developing from where? From the seed only. Okay. The seed is that part that give rise to the new plant. Okay. Because seed in the soil they germinate and they give rise to the new seedlings, then to a small young plant, then to the trees. So the seed may be of the different shape, they may be of the different color and different sizes. Okay, they may be round, they may be wrinkled, they may be winged, and they may be some hairy. Some hairs are present, and the seed they are in the dormant condition. Dormant condition is that suppose seed is present and it is present in the dormant conditions inside the soil or in the soil we can say, and in the dormant condition means that they are resting in the soil. The resting stage is known as the dormant condition, and whenever the environmental conditions or the atmospheric conditions or the optimal conditions are there for the growth of the seed, then the seed used to germinate. The adequate conditions or the normal conditions or the favorable conditions are for them. For example, they can require or they can have the adequate amount of the sunlight. The water should be the sufficient for the germination of the seed. Okay, and the soil. So the growth of the plant from the seed is known as the germination, and till then the seed used to live in the dormant stage, and when the conditions are favorable they used to germinate and then they form the new plant. Okay. The seed has generally three parts which we will discuss in a while. The seed has the seed coat, that is the outer covering is there. The endosperm is there. Okay, the endosperm is that the reserving material or the stored food is there in the endosperm, and the embryo is there. So these are the three part of the seed. Now the ovule, what happened? The ovary and the ovules are there. So ovary is converted into the fruit. Okay, while the ovule after the fertilization they are developing into the seed. So seed is made up of the seed coat and the embryo, and the embryo is again it is made up of the radicle, and the embryonal axis is there, and one or two cotyledons are present as per the type of the seed. If it is a monocot seed, then the one cotyledon is there, and if it is a dicot seed, there will be the two cotyledons. So the seed has the three part. The seed coat is there, endosperm is there, and the embryo is there. Now let's discuss some more characteristic about the seed. So seed is composed of the seed coat and the embryo. We are talking again and again, and this embryo it is further divided into the radicle. Okay, the radicle is also known as the embryonic root because this radicle only they germinate into the root. Okay, and the embryo, the second part is the embryonal axis. The embryonal axis is also known as the embryonic shoot, and this is the main axis of the embryo that runs from the plumule to the radicle. Plumule to the radicle. Okay, the radicle is converting into the root while the plumule is converting into the shoot one. Okay. So the second part is embryonal axis is there, and the embryonal axis helps the embryo to divide and they form the stem of the plant after the maturation. Okay, the radicle is there, embryonal axis is there, and the third part of the embryo is that they have the cotyledons in them. Either they have the one cotyledon if the seed is monocot, or they or two cotyledons are present if it is the dicot. The cotyledons are what? These are the seed leaves only. Okay. Now, monocot seed is that the embryo they contain only the one cotyledon. The example of such plant of these monocot seed includes the palm tree, the onion is there. In fact, the lilies are there. the grasses are there. So these are the examples of the monocot seed. The dicot seed, they have an embryo with the two cotyledons, and the example includes the peas is there, beans is there, the sunflower is there, and the roses are example of the dicot seed. Now the embryo part we have discussed, they are composed of the radical and the embryonal axis, okay? And this embryonal axis is what? It is a central axis of the embryo from which both the radical as well as the shoot system develop, okay? So it is that central axis. So it is very crucial for the establishment of the seedling. The cotyledons are what? These are the seed leaves, and which is produced by the embryo. In the monocot, there is only the one cotyledon, while in the dicot, they have the two cotyledon, and these cotyledon, they serve as a nutrient reserve for the developing seedling until they can perform the photosynthesis. Because if they are very young, they are not as much mature, so till that they require the nutrients. So for that the cotyledons are there, which store the nutrient for the proper germination of the seedling. So if the seedling is converting into the small plant, the herbaceous or the shrub plant, maybe small height plant, then they are able to perform the photosynthesis, then they are not dependent on the other source of the nutrient. The germination, so when the conditions are favorable means they have all the requirement satisfying for their growth, for the germination. Example, the sunlight is there, the water condition is there, the nutrient condition is there, means all conditions are favorable. Okay, like in the human beings, if all conditions are favorable to us, like we have everything to eat, we have access for doing our shopping, for playing, the children used to fun in the for the playing part, for the eating, if they are eating some type of the fast food, so they have a very favorable environment and they used to grow and they used to be very happy if all the conditions are favorable to them and they are happy. Similarly, when all the conditions are favorable to the seed, then the sprouting and the growth of the seed used to occur, and that process is known as the germination. So in the germination, what happened? The embryo within the seed, they used to absorb the water, and thus after absorbing the water, they